to Horse Talk. And if your horse is snatching for grass and you find it difficult to ride on a loose rein through the grass or lead your horse with a loose lead rope through the grass without your horse snatching for grass, you have come to the right place because you might be making a couple of very, very common but huge mistakes that actually makes the grass more interesting than you. And this happens every spring. I get lots of questions like, my horse is snatching for grass all the time. I have difficulties getting his head out of the grass. And our children's horse, only stops to graze, and our kids are, you know, starting to cry and screaming, and they don't want to ride anymore because their horse doesn't listen. And what I then also often hear is that our kids, they are just not strong enough to prevent the horse from grazing. But if you want to become more interesting than grass and solve the grazing issue once and for all, this is definitely not about being strong. Yes, because the number one mistake we do is to start pulling on the horse, either when leading or when riding. Horse ducks down to graze, and we want to pull their head out of the grass again. And this actually makes the horse stronger, and it will also reward the horse for going against pressure by getting to eat more grass. So if you have done this mistake, let me know in the comments below. Because it wasn't until we discovered this that we were actually able to solve our children's horse's grazing issue, because he was among the horses who only wanted to stop and graze and was ignoring the riding signals while getting a huge reward for doing so by then getting a mouthful of grass. And the solution is definitely not to pull on the horse. It's only gonna make it worse. And then there is another very common solution to this problem, which is, installing grazing reins, or just making sure the horse never gets the chance to graze by controlling the horse. And what happens is that the more controlling and annoying we become, the more interesting the grass gets. So since the horse is then feeling, the control from either the reins or the lead rope or the grazing reins, they start thinking about, how can I get out of this situation? And the grass becomes even more tempting. So it doesn't solve the horse's idea of wanting to graze, although it, can prevent it. And in here lies the solution. And if you have done the grazing exercise, then let me know in the comments below. And if your horse is snatching for grass when ridden and led, also let me know in the comments below. Yes, because the solution is to actually not try to prevent the horse from grazing, and the solution is also not to pull the horse's head out of the grass. The solution is to actually give the horse a choice and not prevent them from grazing. But when they start grazing, we put them to some sensible work so that they start associating with grazing when ridden and led with work. So we break the horse's perception of the grass. So the horse is like being led and ridden and whatnot, and is thinking about the grass. If I only can get to graze a bit, then this would be much better. But if we can't break this association and the horse's idea by preventing them from grazing, but we can break the idea by actually, not preventing them from grazing, but putting them to some work once they start grazing. Yes, and this might sound very complicated to do, but it's actually not. And this works within just a couple of sessions. Yes, but pulling their head, preventing them, we will have an ongoing battle between ourselves and the grass. And the grass is always going to win that battle, because the more controlling we are and the more pressure we use, the more tempting the grass becomes. Yes, and this is something Ann Eriksson discovered with her pony. She had bought a pony for her kids, and the idea was that the children were supposed to learn to ride on this pony, but the pony, once the summer came, stuck the head in the grass and did not look up, no matter what the kids did or no matter how much she tried to pull on this horse's head. He was just refusing to listen. But she did this exercise with this pony once, and then she did the same exercise with her kids, so that the kids also knew not to pull on the horse and not to prevent the horse from grazing, but rather making their idea of not grazing the horse's idea. And after 3 sessions, the kids were able to ride at liberty with the pony in the grass. So that completely transformed the whole horse. And I often find that in horse training is that we, instead of solving the actual cause of the problems, we try to manage or mask the symptoms. And once we learn how to make our ID the horse's ID, we can, in very, very few sessions, get a whole new horse. So now her kids are basically unstoppable and they want to ride all the time. Yes, but if you want to get this exact exercise that Anne did with her pony and that other horse owners also have done with their horses, then you can go to ridelikeaviking.no/grazing and you will get everything you need to succeed with becoming more interesting than grass, so that you can ride and lead your horse through the grass on a loose rein. Or if you are more interested in just getting the link on DM, you can also comment yes below and I will send you the link to the free training. Yes, so I hope this helps, because at least in Norway, the grass is getting greener, and before I learned how to solve the horses snatching for grass when ridden and led, it was a constant battle in trying to prevent them from grazing. And now they don't think about the grass anymore when ridden and led, which also makes the horse much more responsive to signals and actually less on the front part. Yes, because if a horse is thinking about the grass, guess where their attention is? It's going to be on the ground where the grass is. And then their weight is going to be more on the front part. But when they're not thinking about the grass and we are able to ride them on a loose rein through the grass, it's so much easier to engage their hind and use light signals when riding and handling the horse. So it can definitely change a lot. Yes, so head on over to ridelikeaviking.no/grazing or comment yes below and you will get the training that solves this once and for all. And Raven is here. Good evening, Raven. So nice to see you. I bet you have done the grazing exercise and have a great connection with your horses, because you have become more interesting than grass. And this is not something we learn when taking riding lessons and going to clinics and such. It's actually, the only place I think you learn it is by downloading the free training, absolutely free of charge. And I'm happy to help you have a wonderful summer together with your horse. So thank you so much for joining this evening, and see you on the inside of the free training. Okay, bye for now.